Motor Week 93, television's automotive magazine. Your host for Motor Week 93, John Davis.
Well, hello and welcome again to Motor Week 93. We're glad to have you with us. Japanese car makers have always been fond of advanced technology. They were the first to introduce things like active suspension and four-wheel steering to modern production cars. And Honda has frequently led other Japanese auto companies in this march to further sophistication. One of Honda's most interesting innovations has been variable valve timing, or VTEC. Its first production application was in the NSX supercar. It then spread to the economical Civic and has now reached the Prelude Sport Coupe. VTEC made the NSX faster and the Civic more economical. Let's see what it does for the Prelude.
The Honda Prelude VTEC is the most powerful Honda ever sold in the United States, but you wouldn't know that just by looking at it. Viewed from any angle, the newest Prelude does its best to look as stylish and aggressive as any of its lesser siblings. From its dramatically low hood line to its distinctively styled tail, you would be hard-pressed to notice any difference between this Prelude and a standard SI, except for those small VTEC badges on its sides. The VTEC variable valve timing system was first introduced on Acura's exotic NSX sports car. The advantages of electronically controlled valve timing allowed Honda engineers to squeeze an extra 30 horsepower from the SI's 2.3-liter four-cylinder engine, bringing the total to 190. Torque increased by 2 pound-feet for a total of 158. With such good power on tap, our VTEC test car catapulted from 0 to 60 in only 6.3 seconds. The quarter mile was equally impressive, ending at 14.6 seconds at 98 miles per hour. It's the quickest Honda badge car that we've ever tested, and only a bit slower than the Acura NSX. An accurate 5-speed manual is the only transmission available with the VTEC engine. Though a bit notchy, we found it to have an even more positive feel than typical for a Honda shifter. Equipped with the same capable double wishbone suspension as the SI, the Prelude VTEC made short work of our slalom. Steering feedback was excellent and body roll minimal, with moderate understeer building progressively through the cones. Since you can't combine VTEC with the SI Prelude's optional four-wheel steering, the back end can be twitchy, especially during an emergency lane change, where we notice the rear end threatening to step out of line. Braking distances from 60 miles per hour averaged a good 120 feet. Stops were generally straight and lockup was non-existent thanks to the Prelude standard ABS. The brakes remained fade-free throughout our test. For all of its handling capabilities, the Prelude VTEC does not exact a ride penalty from its passengers. On the road, occupants enjoyed a smooth, jar-free ride. Thanks to balanced shafts, the engine hums along in relative silence. We measured a low interior sound level of 65 decibels at 60 miles per hour. On the inside, the latest Prelude has changed little. That means that the sparse gauges are still a curious mix of analog and digital. We'd like Honda to add a voltmeter and oil pressure gauge and make it all analog. But airbags are now standard for both the driver and the front seat passenger. Front seat occupants also enjoy well-padded bucket seats with plenty of thigh and back support. Dash controls like the heat and air conditioning switches are well designed and easy to use. The same goes for the fine-sounding 7-speaker AM/FM cassette stereo. One speaker is even between the rear seats. That may be the only thing that makes someone riding in the cramped rear seat happy. There's a small pass-through to the trunk and its decent 7.9 cubic feet of space. A low liftover and high swinging lid make loading easy. Even with a base price of $22,690, the Prelude VTEC represents a fine value for the performance dollar. When Honda introduced the current Prelude last model year, We said that it was not unlike the college athlete who had just graduated to the pros. Now, with the introduction of the VTEC engine, the Prelude has become an all-star.